What's up, everybody? I figured I'd show you guys really liked my 1911 video, so I figured I'd show this really cool piece here. This is a 1898 Springfield in 30 US. Okay, so this is also known as the Krag rifle, and 30 US is also, or most likely known today as the 3040. It's a cartridge that is kind of antique today. You can still find it. When you do, it's outrageous expensive. So I didn't buy any. I just reloaded some. Check this out, man. I wanted a Krag rifle, and I didn't really know where to get one. I know they're going up in price. Everything is, but especially these, you know. So I didn't exactly know where to start shopping because I don't feel like paying $1,500 for these. And I heard the CNP, the Civilian Marksmanship Program, in Georgia somewhere actually had a few of these, and they were going for like $1,500 or $1,400, and they were beat up, so that's no go. So I went onto a Facebook group, and on the Facebook group, they actually, I kind of figured somebody would reach out to me and say, hey, I got something for sale, right? And that actually did happen through a private message, but they wanted a lot of money as well. So I said, a lot of people recommended that I just kind of search the local pawn shops and gun shops, because sometimes they don't realize what they have and they can get a good deal. And that's kind of what happened to me. So I went out and I basically hit every gun shop in the area, and didn't expect to find one on my first outing, but I did. I didn't buy it though. I went to a little gun shop, very little, in fact, and I guess it's Old Milford is the area. If you're around Cincinnati, it's Old Milford Gun Shop. It's the one with the big BAR on the side of the building, you know. So I went in there and bullshit with the guy. Cool dude, always is a cool dude. He's great to talk to, and he's like, hey, what are you looking for? And I said, be honest with you, I'm looking for a Krag. And he was like, well, I just so happen to have one. I said, no shit, right? So I got this, and they wanted $900 for it, basically. And I thought, seems pretty good. Actually, it's a decent price, but I looked at the bore, and the bore concerned me. I didn't see many I'd seen the lands and grooves, but I didn't see them very prominently. So I was concerned. So I told him, like, I don't know about this one, man. And so I was bullshitting for like 45 minutes. And then I asked him, hey, would you be willing to take some money off of it? Because I also don't see a cartouche on the stock, which leads me to believe that this stock is not original. It's not been resanded, because I actually found a Z and shit on there. But what I'm assuming is it broke during the field and was repaired in the field, or in a arsenal at some point after it was already commissioned. So he said, I don't own the shop, but I'll give the owner a call. I'll let you know. So he did, and I called Monday, and he said, hey, he'll give it to me for $900 out the door, which at 7 point whatever % sales tax has saved me like some decent money, like I think $60-$70 basically, maybe more. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. You can do the math. But so I was like, shit, I'll buy it. So, well, first I told him, I said, I'm going to take a 30 caliber bullet to the shop, and if it passes the bullet test, and I'll show you what that is, because some of you might not know, I'm sure some of you do, but the bullet test, I'll show it to you. This here is kind of a nice little copy of the 30 caliber bullet that the Krag shoots. It's a 220 grain bullet. I do the drop test, and as you can see, it doesn't drop in. And this is where it starts to taper to the point where it's a 308 diameter, and it's tight, so it passes the drop test. That's not the most perfect way to prove or to figure out your shit, but to me, that was good enough. I was willing to spend the money with that. So the right way to do it is to slug the bore, which I did do after I purchased it. No gun shop's gonna let you do that. So you take a soft piece of lead and you push it through the barrel until you get a nice little photocopy, and then you mic it. I cleaned the barrel after I cleaned the barrel before shooting, and then I cleaned the barrel after shooting, and it turned out to be a very clean bore. It's not perfect, but it's close to it. Really bright, but you can see the rifling there, you know, and it's clean. Look at that. Rifling shows up. Look at that. You get the idea. So it cleaned up really nicely, and I was able to get, you can see a little bit of pitting there, but that's the only little bit. But you can see how there's a lot of really, really good rifling, and it just needed a good cleaning. This is how you load the gun. You load it by dropping bullets into the ashtray. Like this, all right? Just one by one, which a lot of you probably already know this. It's probably why you're searching for the video, but I figured I'd just show you. Yeah, this is live ammunition. So for you safety sallies out there, you can have a shit fit. And then you close it and it's loaded, right? And then what's neat about it, you can turn this off. There's a switch up here that's a magazine cutoff. So all day long, right? No ammo's for you, right? Just to show the magazine cutoff, there's the switch, and down there's a little lever that sticks out right there, and it makes it where the bullets cannot actually come in contact with the bolt. So you can see here down, it's out of contact, and you can operate the bolt without it picking up a round. You flip the switch back, and it releases the bullets, and you can rock the stuff into the action. Just like that, as the cat is making all kinds of noise. This is for single loading, so if you want to drop a bullet into the top, you know, that's the battery of arms back in the day. Load it that way. So, oh hell. So, that's kind of the thing. It was supposed to be a single loaded, and I loaded some modern stuff too with what I would usually use for an M1 Garand, the 150 grain 308, just to try it out. But anyway, that's how they used to do it back then. One bullet per, I just turned the magazine on. So now it will feed. It's pretty cool until you probably need to fight some Spaniards, okay? Because that's where this one was really kind of tested in the field. With Spanish-American War, the old Teddy Roosevelt, you know? So, yeah, it's really cool. I can understand how it's a fun little thing. I mean, it seems novelty as hell, right? Like, everybody wants one now. So, and I'm sure when they were testing these out in the military trials, that was cool. Like, holy crap, just drop bullets in and go to town. The issue is you have this large orifice opened, and dirt, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to load, especially when you have stripper clips, which pretty much made this design completely pointless when you could just, on a normal gun, drop a stripper clip in and a box magazine and you're loaded. So dropping one by one bullets is kind of asinine. So, but it's neat. It's neat. And to be honest with you, this I think is a better sporting rifle, sporting for target and hunting, than it is for combat. And that's unfortunately what this was made to do in America. This was adopted, I believe, in Norway, maybe Sweden, in America. That's it. It's actually a Norwegian design. The guys who made it, Krag, they designed a magazine, and then they designed the gun around the magazine. This is called a capsule magazine. So it's a capsule. And the idea is to not have a tube and then not have a box magazine. I don't even know if they had those at the time when they invented that. I mean, I'm sure they had a box magazine, but not like a staggered box magazine like a Mauser, okay? So this is just a new, 1880s, 1890s design stuff. This was originally adopted in, I think, 1892, but they didn't start producing until 1894. So they do make M1894s, 96s. This one's at 98. There's 99s, and I think there might be a 1900. Production of these stopped in 1904. The 1903 Springfield replaced it. Everybody knows about the 1903 Springfield. That's a very famous World War I gun. The interesting part is these actually did go to Europe in World War I. They went there for From what I understand, engineers had them. There's pictures of engineers with them, which is non-combat related stuff. And besides that, they had the National Guard during World War One had these because, you know, the P-17s or the P-18s, I think they were called, and the American Enfields and the 1903s were going to Europe for the GIs there, and not these really. Okay, so from what I understand, I think they gave them this and 80 rounds of ammo, 30-40 Krag, which is a rim cartridge. I don't know if I showed you the whole thing. That's what it looks like. It's a rim cartridge. You could tell because it has a rim, unlike a 30-06, which I have one right here. Here's a 30-06 cartridge in comparison. They're cousins. They're only a few years, you know, apart. There we go. So 150 grain bullet. This was made for an M1 Garand. There's specific ammo that needs to be shot in M1 Garand that bolt actions don't have to abide by any kind of rules like that, within reason anyway. But yeah, what was I going on at? They did go to World War. They did go to Europe, but to non-combatant units like engineers, and they never shot in anger probably. So, but it's a neat, interesting piece of history. C and Arsenal YouTube channel has a really good, extensive history. They go into the sites. I think they call it the Bennington site, the 1901 site. I freaking love it. Battlefield Computer, I believe, is what they call it. So check this out. This guy right here has a peep sight, okay? It has elevation up to like 1,900 yards. This little toggle switch right here, you turn it like this, and then it allows this for windage. Check that out, right? So now it's adjustable for windage. Loosen this up. I have it set, so I'm not going to. But it is an amazing little device. Tighten that back down. This designed can go forward. All right. When it's up, you can see the aperture there, which I love. It's hard to see through it, but man, it's accurate whenever you get it to work pretty well. Here's a kind of an up close of the bolt. Like I said, we can show you here a little bit more. You can see this is the follower. If I close it slowly, you can kind of see it start to do its job. Maybe not. Hold on. Watch it. There you go. See how it follows down? So it follows in. And look at the machining. Now, this gun was made in 1899, and they machine stuff so precisely. It's amazing. And we can't make shit like this today, I tell you. With CNC machines, we can't. I've held Colts made in the 40s and 50s, 1918, 1920s, okay? Commercial Colts from the 20s, 30s. And they are so just different. They have souls, where the CNC shit today is garbage. So you can see, you stack your 5 in there. Probably couldn't see that in the previous, but, and then the follower, you know, makes it go around to the top. It's kind of neat. Very cool. And then the bolt picks up the cartridge and drags it in. This still has a little bit of its original niter bluing, which is really cool. It's a bluing treatment that also hardens the steel. What else can I say about it? Battlefield Computer, wicked, weird magazine reloading capability, bolt action. It has one locking lug, which makes this thing just, listen. It's just insanely smooth. And, I mean, you can operate this thing with your pinky, you know? It's amazing. Pull the trigger on it, and you can probably, I mean, it's so smooth. But unfortunately, because of that, it does have its weakness. You can't shoot high power ammunition through it. These rounds are limited basically at 2,000 feet per second, which I forget what the PSI is for the chamber. But the chamber's not the issue. It's that locking lug right here. It has one locking lug. Technically 2 because of this bolt, but if you see here, there's actually some gapping right there. They loosened up the tolerances for production, and because it makes it nice and smooth. So the only thing really holding it is that one locking lug right here. And that's, if you go over the certain pressure number, it will destroy that bolt. It's really long. It has a 30-inch barrel, so it's actually kind of really hard to get in frame. I have to get way far back. So yeah, 30-inch barrel, not chrome lined or anything. That was before that time. So that's kind of it. It's just really cool piece of history that I wanted to show off. Kind of like my 1911. 1911, a little bit easier to record. I love this. The receivers, from what I understand, is kind of like some sort of like case hardened type technology or something back then. So they faded differently. You can see the barrel is blued, and these are kind of in the white, the silver. And from what I understand, it's because of the hardening processes. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys like it. A lot of these were cut down back in like the mid 20s, I think. I think it was after World War II. They were basically decommissioning these like wild. The NRA would take them. The NRA, what does it call? What does that stand for? Not real activists. They would take these and they would cut them down and sporterize them, and they're a lot more handy for hunting. They had no value or historic significance at the time, so it was very common. It's unfortunate now because, you know, the historic value of that. I think they made 400 or 500,000 of these, you know, so a lot of them did get chopped down and sold to civilians. But hey, it put a lot of food on the table back in the 1920s and 30s during the Depression, and it is what it is. All right, like the ones that survived, like this one, we treasure them now. You know, definitely don't cut this shit down. Oh yeah, and before you get all butthurt about the NRA thing, do some research. They really do suck. Join the GOA, Gun Owners of America. I like them. There's other ones you can choose too, especially your state, your local gun rights organization, if you're wanting to. Like Ohio has one, the Buckeye Firearms Association, I believe it is. I'm a member of that. But the NRA's received the last dollar from me after their little stunts that they pulled a couple years ago. But I digress. I think I'll do a reloading video for this rifle. It's kind of probably a really boring video. I don't have much here to show you. I could probably take some up close shots and stuff of it and kind of just put it in the video. But it's cool. I've always wanted one, and I was kind of happy to get one for less than $1,000, to be honest. And it's great to shoot. It's very accurate. I was surprised with the accuracy of it, though I haven't been able to stretch its legs. So who knows what it can actually do at like further than 100 yards. So, but we'll find out. Anything else I need to add about this thing? Safety. Simple safety right there. Safe on, safe off. It's got that really cool case hardening effect to it. At least it looks like it is. Really neat. Love it. 1899 is 100 and I think 22 years old. So it's going to be 123 soon. So anyway, guys, hope you guys like this video. This is the second, I think, kind of gun review that I did. If you want to know more about these rifles, See an Arsenal is a damn good, like, hour-long video about these, breaking them down to the every little change. They're really, really good. If you get a chance to shoot one of these or even pick one up, do it. They are great. I love them. If you get a carbine, the carbines are really desirable and they're really expensive, but a lot of them have been cut down by like the NRA and other sorts of like CMP organizations and things like that. So make sure you get a good one. All right. If you get make sure you can prove that it's a real carbine, because for whatever reason they're more desirable, probably because of the Rough Riders and the movie that came out with the Rough Riders, the TV show that was like a 2-part thing back in the 90s. Gary Busey was in it. So all right, guys, that's it. If you like, go ahead and like. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. You can't thumbs down anymore, by the way. I noticed that. You can, but it doesn't show anybody, so nobody knows you do it. So whatever. Apparently it helps the algorithm either way. So it's like 3 of you guys always down vote something. Follow me on Instagram also, Slip Joint Guy. See ya.